Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Welcome back for another weekend edition, if you will, where I go over news that happened during the week that I missed, if you didn't get the gist of it before. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Cryptocurrency hardware wallet firm known as Ledger has partnered with German crypto startup called Neufund to let users manage security tokens via Ledger's desktop application. This was said on the 6th of December. Ledger's collaboration with blockchain-based equity and crypto fundraising platform known as Neufund aims to develop a framework for security tokens. Ledger Live, a recently launched desktop application for crypto asset management, is reportedly adding an ERC20 token integration very soon. ERC20 tokens, for those who don't know, are pretty much tokens that are built on top of the Ethereum network. This is why we've seen recently, or why there's been a lot of speculation as to why Coinbase was adding ERC20 tokens to their platform. It's because they already have Ethereum integrated, and therefore, if these other tokens are built on top of Ethereum, and you already have it integrated into your systems, it's easier to then add something for ERC20 tokens a lot easier. They said the app will let users manage security-based tokens via Neufund's set of protocols. Previously, Neufund teamed up with cryptocurrency exchange known as BitBay to let investors buy and sell equity tokens with fiat currencies. At that time, Neufund was reportedly aiming to become the first end-to-end primary issuance platform for security tokens, specializing in equity tokens. The rest isn't really super important. What we have here is something that's kind of been bubbling at the surface, if you will, for the last couple of months. There's a huge amount of attention being paid right now to security tokens. For those who don't know what a security is, it's pretty much something that you buy with the expectation of profit, something that is owned by a company. And when you own that security, like a stock or a bond, in some cases, you pretty much then own a fraction of the company. And it's believed widely that the next step of the cryptocurrency space, as 2017 was mainly for ICOs and the entire hype that went around them, that securities, stocks and bonds and mutual funds, so and so, are going to be digitized and made into security tokens that are then going to be put on top of potentially what's happened so far is that we've seen a lot of them being built on top of the Ethereum network. But Ethereum has been having a couple of hiccups as of late, so people have been talking about moving their security tokens over to EOS and other platforms that are similar in the same exact way than Ethereum, but maybe easier or quicker to use because of their quicker transaction speeds. The issue is, rather not really an issue, I guess, this is pretty much where the entire market is going to go. When you hear information about people talking about that they think that within the next couple of years we are going to have millions of tokens, they don't mean millions of random coins like hot dog coin and something coin. It'll be these stocks and bonds all around the entire world that are going to be digitized, and everyone's trying to not fight. Well, I guess, yeah, it's money. Everyone's fighting to figure out exactly which platform these are going to be put on. And everyone is trying to make sure that they have some type of a security token framework so that it's also possible to be able to build them or to integrate them or support them on your platform, because you pretty much have to follow the money. That's kind of the easiest way to say it. But yeah, let's move on. Next up, tech giant Asus, is now making it possible for gamers to use the excess processing power of their graphic cards to earn some profit from crypto mining. In an announcement made on Thursday, the Taiwan-based tech company stated that it has entered into a partnership with a mining provider known as Quantum Cloud. I feel like we went over this already. I don't really remember. Under this partnership, Asus and Quantum Cloud will allow gamers to earn passive income by providing access to their ASIC graphic cards, also known as GPUs, when these cards aren't being used for PC-related functions. According to the statement on the Quantum Cloud official website, with this app, the idle GPUs owned by gamers on the network will be used to collectively power cloud-based crypto miners to generate profit, while owners of these cards will be given a percentage of the tokens mined based on the amount of power that they provide. We're seeing a huge shift right now, and I'm glad that this is happening. And I think it could even be going a lot slower, so I'm happy that it's going at the pace that it's going right now. There's a huge push to be able to have normal everyday people be able to use their computers or any type of excess computing power that they may have to be able to mine cryptocurrencies. I don't know the exact profitability of this in the long run. I'll put it to you this way. if you believe in the future of cryptocurrencies, this could potentially, the cents that you make right now could potentially end up being worth a couple of hundred in the future. But everyone is trying to figure out a way. On one side, they're trying to make sure that they have extra computing power so that they can mine more cryptocurrencies. But also, there are a lot of people who do want to be able to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's focused even just on Bitcoin. Has become incredibly difficult to be able to mine it with a normal computer. So we have a lot of things popping up like this where people are trying to figure out another way for people to be able to not only contribute to the network, but also to be able to, I guess, like be incentivized to help out the network as well, to add processing power to it. And therefore you are monetarily incentivized to kind of give back to it. But yeah, that's I think we went over something like this, or it might have been something else. There are a couple of initiatives like this floating around where people are trying to figure out how to use excess computing power to be able to mine things or do calculations or what have you. But yeah, it's very good. At least I think so. I like things like this, and I think it is good for you if you believe in like the very long-term aspects of the cryptocurrency space. Next up, Bitcoin, for those who didn't notice, has been going down for quite a couple of months at this point. It turns out that we actually had the worst November in Bitcoin's history in the last 7 years. So the relatively the worst one, I guess, for quite some time. No one knows the exact reason or the extent of how low this price leveling going down is actually going to go. A lot of people have been speculating. I mean, every single month, just about, we've had information about where prices were going to go. It's still believed heavily that the reason why prices of Bitcoin went down at all, because we were sitting around, I think, 6,000 or something like that. And then we dropped to, where are we right now? Like 34. That this came down to the other hard fork. And I tried to explain to people, for a lot of people who just, not that they didn't get it, just to put it into perspective. A lot of people are very new to the cryptocurrency space. They don't really know the difference between a Bitcoin Cash, a Bitcoin Cash SV, a Bitcoin Cash Gold, like anything. They don't really know the difference. So when they hear that there's internal strife in the cryptocurrency community between two coins and they've split in half, and for those who were here 2 weeks ago, the Bitcoin Cash SV people and Bitcoin Cash people were telling each other that they were going to destroy their blockchains. That destroys confidence in the entire place. It makes the cryptocurrency space as a whole look uneducated. You get exactly what I'm saying. We need to not have things like this. People should be discouraged from creating or forking off Bitcoin. I think there are over like 300 forks of Bitcoin right now. Thank goodness that they're not in the news. Completely insane. But the point is, prices have gone down. We have had relatively optimistic periods throughout this entire year. I mean, the optimism is pretty great from the other like major investors who were talking about that they believed just about every single month that we were going to have some type of a rally, because before, historically in the past, Bitcoin has had some type of a uptick on different months, and this November was not one of them. Yeah. Next, this one's actually, I find stuff like this very interesting. In an op-ed on Yahoo Finance, Alex Gurevich, a professor of mathematics and an ex-JP Morgan executive, believes Bitcoin is edging closer to becoming digital gold with every single day that it doesn't die. He said, despite the rise and fall of various altcoins and fork considerations, time works for Bitcoin, not against it. Every day it doesn't disappear. It gets one step closer to a permanent status of digital gold. He went on to state in an op-ed, taking his readers down memory lane on why there was demand for gold and precious metals. Gurevich stated that his precious metals had always been used up as a means of exchange for centuries, as they do not oxidize easily and remain in an uncorrupted form. However, amongst our precious metals, keeps talking about gold, advantages of gold, blah, 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 on why Bitcoin is specifically the front runner in the race of gaining this title. He explained that the advantages of incumbency have favored the cryptocurrency, and that just like gold did to other precious metals, blah, 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 Bitcoin is in the process of outlasting its competition. I think when we hear things like that from ex-JP Morgan executives, they know exactly where the money is going. And I've heard this argument many times before, not the entire digital gold thing. I've heard it before swung as any day extra, every 24-hour period that Bitcoin is still around, is a very good thing for it, because every single day adoption increases. It may be, even if it's just 500 people a day, if it were that low, the movement still spreads. Everyone understands a bit more about what Bitcoin is, how long that it's been around, and it becomes a bit more, not stable, but well known. Like, there's a difference between a 18-month-year-old Bitcoin and a 10-year-old Bitcoin. Like, people have a bit more faith in a system that's been running around for 10 years, and they'll have even more faith in it when it's been around for 15 years or 20 years or 25 years. It'll be something that's long-lasting and durable, and this is kind of more or less what we've seen. I don't have any of the other articles in here where people are talking about that they think that Bitcoin is going to go to zero. I don't know. Andreas Antonopoulos was recently in the news as well, and he was saying he thinks it's very funny when people say that Bitcoin is going to go to zero. There's no logical way that Bitcoin would ever hit $0 again. Like, the blockchain would have to be destroyed, and we'd have to have a massive solar flare that would knock out all the electricity on the planet. Like, there's no way. There are at least 5 people, if you cut out the other 100 million who are into cryptocurrencies, 5 people on this planet who would not let the price even go to $1. People would start to buy. Like, we would have a situation where if Bitcoin got to $1, there would be at least one billionaire somewhere who would just buy up all of it at the exact same time, and then you maybe like divide it or sell it to other people. The point is, at this point, it may be slow. It may be the grandfather of crypto, but people are actively working on updating it. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. It may eventually one day be the number 2, number 15, number so-and-so coin. But I think that the name of Bitcoin is probably going to be something that we're going to be talking about for a number of years as we move forward. Right, so here's another one. Not even going to read through it. What it comes down to is this is the last month of the year. For those who didn't know, only 12 months in a year. And as we've had them for every other month, people are now estimatingly speculating that December could be the time where we break out of this downtrend that we've been having. I don't know if they have the exact like date here. I've seen multiple different dates kind of floating around. People are stating that the reason that the market is going down right now, this is speculation, this is them, not me. They're saying that they think that the reason that the market is going down right now, why Bitcoin, you can't even see it on this thing. Weird website. I think Bitcoin is at 3,400 right now. They think that the reason why Bitcoin is going down is that it's trying to steadily hit a bottom, or is trying to hit the $3,000 mark, because the $3,000 mark is believed to be the bottom. This is how low that we're going to go. This is how low that Bitcoin is going to hit, and everything will kind of shoot back up from there. So when we have the dates that I've seen have been the 15th, 16th, and 17th of December. Please do not hold those dates in your heart. Let them go. No one knows when this market is going to go up. These are the dates that I've seen quoted around in multiple places where people are talking about that they believe that sometime in the middle of December, somewhere in December, as Bitcoin historically, once again hit that word, has seen push-ups in the past. We could then potentially see some type of a push-up relatively soon, as like people were calling it like a what is it called? Like a Santa boost, or a Santa price something, or a Santa rally, something with Santa inside of it. I don't know. 2018 has been a very interesting year, to say the least. I would like a price rally. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody else would out there as well. I've been accumulating on the way down. It's just kind of how things are. I believe in the long-term prospects of this. And I said before, I felt like 2018 was going to be not an accumulation year, but like a get it together year. And this has kind of been exactly what it's been. It would be nice if Tom Lee, he had a prediction before. He said that he thinks that Bitcoin could hit around $15,000 by the end of this year, and like a mega cool, ultra crazy rally. That would actually be kind of nice, because it would put mentally into people's heads that we've passed by 10, we've passed by or at the $15,000 mark. And therefore, it is potentially believable that we could then hit 50,000 next year. Because if we go into next year at around like a $2,900 Bitcoin and we shoot up to 50, we're going to be in the same exact bubble talk situation that we were in the time before. So let's hope that we do not end up going through that. Like, really though, let's hope though. So According to Joseph Lubin, the co-creator of Ethereum and the founder of Consensus, a blockchain software studio based in New York that houses 1,000 developers, he said, blockchain is more than a market, it's a movement. Market cap doesn't reflect activity. Decentralized networks are growing. 110 billion daily API requests served by Infura. 1 million truffle downloads, 1 million MetaMask downloads, blah, 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 blah. A lot of stuff going on in the Ethereum network. What the main thing comes down to is that there's a lot of things. Ethereum is still very popular. Like, Ethereum hasn't really waned in popularity. I think the prices going down have definitely caused people to reflect and think if the market got a bit too hot last year. We still have price predictions right now that Ethereum during the next bull run will hit around 4,000 anywhere. I've seen 2,500 to 4,000 per coin. Seemed entirely believable, especially if we have another massive rally up. Ethereum went from $8 to $1,400. So it being at like 100 right now and going to 2,500, kind of believable. No one knows exactly where the price is going to go. But Ethereum is still being used. Like, it's still being integrated into a lot of things. A lot of people are actively trying to figure out how to make Ethereum go quicker. I think the race is definitely on. I think that they thought that they would have a bit more time and that the market would, I don't know what they thought. The developers of Ethereum, I know they're actively working on it. I don't know them personally, but one can only assume that they are actively trying to work on making this platform a lot more user-friendly and quick and stuff like that, because there's been a lot of news that I just haven't covered because it's like I didn't feel like having the same topic every single day for the last like 2 weeks, where a lot of coins and projects are actively leaving Ethereum and they're announcing it in like these crazy blog posts. They're moving over to EOS. They're moving over to, I want to say, Waves. I feel like Waves is one of them. They're moving over to Tron. Like, it's a really big thing where everyone's horribly afraid that right now, should we have some type of a major move in market price and stuff like that, and the interest once again goes back to Ethereum, what then happens if you, first of all, there's a lot more stuff built on top of Ethereum now than there was during the last bull run, and we can't have another situation where CryptoKitties slows down the entire network. And imagine having games built on top of it. Nobody wants a laggy game because people are collecting cats. So Joseph Lubin has been in the news a couple times recently. We may not have gone over him, spoken about what he has talked about, but the idea is right now that Ethereum needs to get it together. But a lot of people in the Ethereum team are saying that things are perfectly fine, that they're definitely being integrated and stuff like that. I think they definitely are. There's a lot of money behind Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum's going anywhere. I think they may, I could see them, I think it would be kind of weird, but I can definitely see them slipping down to like the 4th or 5th place. There's a lot of other coins who are gunning for their spot, and I think they may be in the position to do so, especially if you can use as leverage the fact that, hey, 15 platforms left Ethereum and moved over to us, and we have 5,000 dApps built on top of us, and Ethereum only has blah, 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 however many they have. Anyway, Ethereum has to get it together. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon, but I think it would be in their best interest to do something, because there are other blockchain projects that are actively getting other projects that are built on top of Ethereum. But anyway, let us move on. Oh, so this is one of the dumbest things I think I've read in a long time. Exchange giant Coinbase is seeking a trademark for the word BUIDL. B-U-I-D-L. It looks like build, but misspelled. A popular term used by some segments of the cryptocurrency community. I have never seen BUIDL in my entire life. Never. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you haven't either. And if you say that you are, you probably read it incorrectly in another website. I have never seen anyone use this word in my entire life. According to an October 2nd filing from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, or the USPTO, the San Francisco-based tech unicorn wants BUIDL to become one of the company's protected brand names. And something around here as well, HODL, the much more popular, it shouldn't be, cryptocurrency-related misspelling, has also been submitted to the USPTO for trademark protection by another company. The fact that people want these words, it just shows how greedy people can be. What would you get from trademarking words like this? Like, these words are for those who don't know, these are jokes in the cryptocurrency community, like especially like the term like hodl and FUD. These aren't real words, and you trying to patent them or own them in some capacity makes you look ridiculous. I don't know how not even old everyone is. A couple years ago, there was a situation, for those who don't know, there's a celebrity called Paris Hilton, and she had a TV show when I was a child, and she kept on saying like the phrase like that's hot, that's hot, that's hot, and I think she ended up trademarking that phrase, and I sat there and I was like, can no one else say the phrase that's hot? Like, what if you touch a stove? Like, do you have to be like, oh, that was very warm to the touch? Like, what do you get from trying to trademark this? On another side note, to try and ease tensions, I guess, if you will, against Coinbase, they also released another news thing like a day or two later or something like that, like relatively recently, where they said that they were trying to patent it, but they were going to give it back to the community and it would be used that way. And I was like, then what's the point of trying to? No one uses this word. Like, that's not even a real thing. I don't. Coinbase frustrates me. They're like the whatever. Point is, they're trying to trademark this. If the new recenter news is correct, they said that they're going to give the term back to the community. Thanks. I mean, if you just didn't try to own it and just let us use terms on our own, maybe that acts a bit better. It's like, what was the other thing? There was some company in the UK who also tried to trademark another cryptocurrency word. Is like, how greedy are you people? Like, what are you going to use these on? Like, are you going to sell us debit cards that have the word biddle on it, or like hodl card? Like, what's going through their heads? I don't know. I think they're just trying to make sure that they corner so much of the market, but nobody wants these words. Like, these words aren't going to be around in like 4 years. I don't understand. Anyway, yeah. So I was right before. Bitcoin is below 3,400, and this is when I read around. As to why Bitcoin is slowly slinking down, that they're trying to see if the 3,000 point is the jump off amount. Anyway, let's get away. This icon is making me annoyed. Binance is in the news. So I got to give it to them. Binance has become incredibly popular in a relatively short amount of time. They're being integrated into so many different other platforms. It's very weird. I think I spoke about this yesterday as well. I think it's kind of odd that a major cryptocurrency exchange has other cryptocurrency exchanges integrating their coin, but this is slowly happening. We had news this week, for those who weren't around, about Binance chain is coming out, and they also have a decentralized exchange called, I guess, Binance Dex, maybe Bex. I don't know exactly what the shortened term is going to be. A lot of people have become very bullish on Binance Coin and its future, and I mean, I guess I kind of am as well. I personally am not going to be buying Binance Coin. That's just my own personal opinion. I have too many other coins to focus on. I'm not trying to get into like a 16th, 17th coin that I'm trying to buy and hold on to desperately. But Binance Coin is, I mean, if their decentralized exchange ends up going off without a hitch, and it does work very well, and they end up, first of all, their cryptocurrency is also going to be like the main coin on their website. So like, it won't be Bitcoin or any other coin. It's going to be Binance Coin. I guess the sky's the limit for Binance Coin. When you can use it to like buy stuff in like normal stores, I think that'll be really weird. I have my own opinions on this. It's great as a utility token. Like, I'm glad that someone actually found out how to make a coin that's actually being used. That's kind of great. But on that Binance Coin topic, let's move on. So just skim over this quickly, because I'm not really that surprised about this. Russia's cryptocurrency legislation, the draft bill on digital financial assets, has been sent back to the reading stage for significant changes. This was said by the Russian newspaper known as Kommersant. According to Kommersant, the head of the council and chairman of the State Duma Committee on State Building, Pavel Krashemennikov, said that the document has no relation to cryptocurrencies or tokens, and lawyers noted that its wording comes into conflict with the norms of Russian legislation for corporations. What it comes down to is that people are saying that they did not have the words that they needed inside of the framework because it doesn't really pertain to cryptocurrencies. I'm going to assume that since Russia was talking about this at the beginning of the year, it says at the behest of the president of Russia, that's a very long time in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of things have been coming up. A lot of other countries have come together to talk about exactly how they're going to regulate cryptocurrencies. I can only assume that their framework may be a bit outdated. I'm almost horribly interested at this point as to exactly how rules are going to form around cryptocurrencies, simply because, and I put it to you this way, crypto changes very fast, and it's not just the prices. Things are updated, code is changed, things can be made different. Like, we even have a situation right now where coins can be securities and they can become commodities, or they can not ever be, like, you can switch them. Like, there are certain things you can do to your network to be able to change them. And I think a lot of the cryptocurrency laws that we are going to have in the relatively near future are going to get quite interesting, because a lot of people have, or rather the people in the government have become very interested in being able to, I don't want to say hamper innovation. They're trying to make sure that they control as much as possible. And every time that they do something, it's very... If you get network consensus and you can change the entire thing around, if you can fork something, if you can take out a certain portion of something that would have made that coin a security or a commodity, and you get the network's backing to do that, you can definitely do that. So I think they're trying to figure out exactly how to be able to control the cryptocurrency networks, community, blockchain, blah, 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 because every single time that lawmakers do something, this is why this guy's scratching his head, every single time that lawmakers do something and I listen to a podcast, they talk about it in that podcast. And it's really funny because there are people actively working at this in the cryptocurrency space who are looking for new laws and stuff that are coming out. And they're simply making new proposals on the network to be like, hey, we should change this. And then it ends up getting changed sometimes. And then that coin ends up becoming slightly different than it was before. And therefore, the legislation that was written on it no longer really has the same direct correlation to what it was before. It's quite interesting. So whatever laws that we end up having from the G20 companies, countries in the next couple of months, whenever they said that they were going to give us that regulation, I wonder how it's going to hold up over the next 5 years, especially when we have a whole bunch of other new layers on top of these cryptocurrencies. Interesting times ahead. Next up, Vertcoin is in the news. A Bitcoin replica launched with an aim to discourage miners from forming pools and gaining a monopoly over its network has been compromised. Blah, blah, blah. They had a 51% attack. And yeah, my take on this is apparently what happened is that a whole bunch of quote unquote people managed to get more than 51% of the hash rate. And they were simply allowed to own and govern the public blockchain by themselves. Vertcoin actually was around like a bit after I got into the cryptocurrency space. It says it's somewhere around here. I think it came out in 2014 or something like that. So it's been around for quite a bit. You may not have heard a lot about it. I think people were trying to hype it up last year in 2017 because I think it was one of the easier coins to mine. And people were like, oh, we should definitely get into Vertcoin because so-and-so, we can definitely mine it. I think a lot of people just ended up selling their Vertcoin or any other mining coin that they're doing for Bitcoin. The point is, what's been happening, whether people realize it or not, is between the SEC and between hackers, if you kind of want to call them that. Hacker seems like to have like a negative connotation. What we have right now is that the SEC has been dismantling ICOs left and right. They've been going out. They've gone after at least that we know of around 50 ICOs, telling them that they're illegal, that they have to pay their money back to the people who invested in them, and or their entire project has to be done. In some cases, they're like, you have to pay us like $500,000, and you also have to shut down your entire operation. On the other side, we have a whole bunch of people who are they don't like altcoins. They don't like small altcoins. They think that these altcoins are taking away the attention from Bitcoin. You may have noticed this has been a year of 51% attacks. 51% attacks, not that they weren't a thing last year or the year before that or the year before that, but they've really ramped them up this year. And I feel like, me personally, what's been happening is that they've been making sure, these people, to hit all of these coins with 51% attacks to show that they aren't as decentralized or how weak and fragile, quote unquote, that these networks are. To be able to show the dominance of the Bitcoin network. This is kind of how I feel about it. I'm pretty sure you kind of see where I'm coming from. I don't think that we would have such a massive amount of 51% attacks. We've had at least 15 this year that I can think of. There were even people who were trying to do a 51% attack on the Bitcoin Cash network sometime around the summertime. I think everyone's trying to do this I guess it's not really fair what I was going to say. I was going to say to be fair. I personally believe that a lot of coins are worthless at this point. That's not to say that I believe that this coin is worthless. I haven't paid attention to this coin in years, or even said its name in eons, pretty much. I feel like we have a large number of coins on the cryptocurrency space that are simply distractions. I've said before, I think anywhere from 25 to 50 coins I think is perfectly fine right now. And eventually, as crypto grows over the next 10 years, I think it'll be fine to have around 500 coins that actually have a purpose. We have many other coins that were forked off of Bitcoin, changed their name, and this is kind of how they've been floating around. I think the cryptocurrency space would be a lot healthier. I think we'd have a lot more liquidity if all of the other coins that people shouldn't really have or own that have no real purpose kind of just disappeared overnight. That's kind of how I feel about it, but the 51% tax is definitely going to continue, at least until we have some type of like a bull run. I think when we have a bull run, I think people will stop paying attention a bit more, and they'll be focusing either on profiting or because usually the networks tend to get a lot stronger when we have a bull run, because everyone starts turning back on their computers to be able to mine other cryptocurrencies, so it becomes a bit more difficult. Anyway, Vertcoin was attacked this week, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the last coin that is going to be attacked, at least even before the end of the year is over. Just a guess. So here's another thing about Ethereum, without really even reading into it. I'm going to try and do this in like 25 seconds. Ethereum slow. Ethereum has problems. Ethereum has a lot of what now people are calling like centralized layers. Apparently, according to this guy, there is something on the network that is running through like Amazon cloud services. And he says that if you have dApps running on the Ethereum network and someone happens to turn off something called Infura, which is, I think, also on the Amazon cloud services, if someone decided to turn that off, we could, and the dApps would stop working. Centralized points of failure are something that we do not want on any cryptocurrency network. This is why multiple mining around the world is important, and also many nodes is also very important on the network. Ethereum is just going through a lot of stuff right now. There was also, I don't know. I think I've said it all already. I feel really bad for Ethereum. A lot of people have turned their back against them. I think they're definitely going to make it. I don't know when. Talking about 2 years for the next major upgrade is not going to be a very good thing. And if I was them, I would probably just stop bringing out negative news, because I don't think it's helping the price. That's just kind of how I feel about it. EOS is in the news today. I'm going to read through a bit of it and I'll tell you exactly what happened. It says yet another aspect of blockchain protocol EOS has sparked controversy this week after one of its 21 block producers appeared to offer its token holders financial rewards for voting it as a proxy. Start EOS, one of the official sanction nodes which can approve EOS transactions, said in a Medium post on the 27th of November that after delegating starteos.io as a proxy, you could get continuous and stable EOS revenue. The Chinese outfit, which has yet to comment on allegations it runs against decentralized and democratic blockchain procedures, advocated by EOS itself, framed the revenue scheme as a reward for token holders. So, once again, it is imperative that you do your own research. It'll benefit you greatly in the future, and anything that you decide to dip your toes into, I'll give it to you backwards. The way that EOS works is that they don't have miners, is that they have 21 block producers, so that they, whatever. There are 21 producers on the network who verify transactions as they're going through the EOS system, and these people are in turn rewarded with EOS as they are keeping the network safe. What we have right now is that there is so in order to become a block producer, you have to be voted in by the EOS community. You have to stake your coins on the network. You have to hold them into the network in place, keep them there frozen to be able to vote for other people who you want. I think at the moment there are 60, if not more, other producers who are vying to be EOS block producers. But the way that the EOS system works is that only 21 can enter that, that 21 frame, and then the number 22, 23, 24, 25 kind of sit there being like on the waiting list. That's kind of the easiest way of kind of saying it. one of the 21s who were voted in happens to be in China. And the thing that happened is that they were trying to make sure that they remained as one of the 21 block producers, because realistically, if you are a block producer and you have validating transactions on the EOS network, you get paid, quote unquote, for this. The same exact way that miners on the Bitcoin network get paid, quote unquote, when they are mining or validating the transactions on the Bitcoin network, they get paid out in Bitcoin. Same exact way for the 21 block producers, they get paid out in EOS. So you are in turn mentally incentivized to make sure that you remain one of these 21 block producers. What happened is that the one that's in China, the one who we're talking right, where is it? Start EOS. They said, or they told other people, if you vote for us and keep us as one of the 21 block producers so that we can keep the network safe, we will give you financial rewards in exchange for this, i.e. they would pay the people who voted for them in EOS as an incentive for keeping them as one of the block producers. People in other cryptocurrency communities, not the EOS community, decided to come forward and say that this is hyper decentralized. How dare you do something like this? This is showing the centralization of the network. It's not. What happens is that people get voted in by other people in the community who then put them into this one of the 21 spaces. And it just so happens that the people who are from Start EOS, they were talking about this on the podcast called ICO Alert. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. It should be on their last video, I think. And they were talking about it as well. And what happened is that the Start EOS people said that in China, this isn't seen as, This isn't seen as negative. Like if you are trying to be in a certain position or place or whatever, telling other people I'll pay you for this isn't seen as something that's negative. While in the West, or Western countries, if you will, quote unquote, it is seen as something negative. You shouldn't be paying for your place in line or to stay where you are. You should be there because you have good merits and you have good so and so and so. So what ended up happening was there was no real controversy. It's always people who are from Ethereum, who are from Tron, who are from some other camp, who decide to look in, peer in over the grass and see that something is going on and they think that something is wrong or illegal, it should not be happening, or that is hyper centralized. And it's not. They were just one of the 21 people. All of these 21 block producers are not sitting in the exact same room. They're not like holding hands and singing Kumbaya. They're in different places around the world. There's a website where you can see all of the 21 block producers and where they're located in the world. They do have some discussions together. They talk to each other on the phone. They're like, hey, we see this could be a potential fault in the network. Hey, let's join together and be able to secure this. That's as far as it usually goes. Just happens to turn out that one of them decided, we really want to stay in line. It's like being a Bitcoin miner, and someone has to wait, if you are a Bitcoin miner and you have tons of computing power and stuff like that, and you see that someone else may potentially overtake your hash rate, you're going to call in other people and be like, hey, can you help us, give us money to be able to do this, same as voting other people in, and we will pay you back in Bitcoin for helping us secure our place in the network. The exact same thing. That's pretty much all that it came down to. Every single time that EOS is in the news, I will do my darndest to make sure that I let everyone know exactly what's happening. If EOS messes up or does something wrong, or actually something that is not decentralized, and they are compromising the network in some sort of way, I will call them out on it. I'll definitely be like, hey, something went wrong. They did this so and so and so. But every single time that EOS has been in the news, it has always been the exact same thing. There's always an article talking about spark controversy. There was no controversy. If you read EOS and understand what EOS is about, and you listen to, and I mean, the podcast called ICO Alert, it says ICO Alert 99% of the time they're talking about EOS, because it was a mainly EOS based podcast. If you are interested in learning more about EOS, I am not affiliated with them in any way. Listen to their podcast. They have a lot of great information, all the stuff that happens during the week. The whole point of the podcast is that they go over all the negative news that happened against EOS and they kind of debunk it, because there's so much of it. This is exactly why they're there. Anyway, the point is, also they also have a very funny segment. If you are really interested in this podcast, they have a segment called Good Tron, Bad Tron, and they go over Tron news and they put it into categories as if it's Tron did this. I think that's bad Tron, and they kind of shape it up that way. It's actually pretty funny because I think one of the people, one of the hosts on the podcast is actually really into Tron, so they try and do a subjective good Tron, bad Tron type thing. Anyway, that was the controversy around EOS this week. There really wasn't any. It's always other people who are so busy trying to focus on your own projects. We have a situation right now where crypto prices are going down because stuff like this keeps coming out. Focus on your own projects and their faults, and then come back to me later. But let's move on. Next up, this one's actually kind of weird, and I'll explain why. And okay. One of the crypto industry's biggest players is experimenting with ways to give its users more control over their personal information. Crypto exchange turned corporate unicorn known as Coinbase has a 17-person team currently exploring decentralized identity solutions. Byrne, the product manager of Coinbase's identity team, told CoinDesk he wants to help people own more of who they are online. Revealed exclusively to CoinDesk, Byrne's approach relies on creating bridges between Coinbase products and its mobile wallet. With a built-in decentralized application, or dApp Explorer, he explained, I'm looking at dApps and which of our customers are using which dApps. There's probably a good indicator of what types of activities our customers want to be doing in an on-chain way. In his mind, the best way to start lies in identifying a small segment of Coinbase's users who would gain real value from controlling more of their personal data, rather than Coinbase repeatedly collecting and storing their KYC information across the platform's products. He said over the next 12 months, Byrne said his team aims to scale these experiments from just a few users to a meaningful group of dApp users. In addition to tech-savvy power users, Byrne said identify solutions could have the most immediate impact for customers that aren't getting access to things because it's too hard as it is. What's been happening very recently, and I think it's a little weird, and I don't know if it's just me, I don't know if it's my background and not being skeptical, but it sounds kind of weird. I watch a lot of sci-fi movies. I'm very much into, I am what you would call a futurist. I love the idea of the future. I love the idea of technology. I love the idea of fast travel, being able to do this with your computer, and so, blah, 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 blah. One of the things that bothers me the most is the idea of a future where we are all, once again, this is just me, where we are all easily identified, where we have cameras that can tell exactly who we are, our faces, where we're going. Things already like this already happening with Google. Like if you travel somewhere, they know where you're traveling, how long you're staying there for. If you have your GPS on, they know exactly the route that you took and stuff like that. It's all kind of weird. We have something going on right now where people in the cryptocurrency space are trying to have like identity matched to certain things, which is kind of weird in my opinion, because the whole point of crypto is to not have a face to your cryptocurrency account. I.e., I have crypto, I can do what I want, go where I want, when I can do whatever I want. It's my money. Some cryptocurrency projects, EOS included, which I'll also get into in a couple of seconds, have announced that this is why I don't know if this is exactly what Coinbase is trying to do, but it seems like a digital identity thing where you will be linked to your cryptocurrency account based on your digital identity, but I don't understand exactly how far that can go or what the actual metrics of that are going to be, i.e., is it as simple as downloading something and this is your current ID? How do we make sure that that's your only ID that you have? How do we know that you haven't downloaded the same program 5 or 6 times? The way that I've seen this spoken about is that you will have to, and what worries me a little bit, is that you'll have to start linking it to like your eye scan or your face scan, like with the iPhone that I definitely don't have because I don't want anybody having my face. Something similar to that. And this wasn't EOS. This was definitely another program and not Coinbase either. And they were talking about doing this, and they said they think that the future of all of this comes down to being able to, like, not only can you unlock your phone with your face, but you can also unlock your wallet, and you can unlock this, and you can do so and so. And I think that's kind of weird because not only would we have a situation where crypto should be for you to be able to, go into a shop, scan your phone, swipe your card, you pay with crypto, get out of there. Having to unlock a payment system with my face then lets pretty much every other person on the planet know exactly where I'm spending and buying my stuff, what I'm doing, how long I'm there for. It's kind of a little creepy. The EOS one, the way that it was explained, at least how I kind of got it, is that there would be no, at least as far as I know, facial thing. But I know they were talking about fingerprints as well, because you have to be able to match the identity to someone on the network. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, how many times could you just download the same application and have different identities and therefore be 5 different people on this network? I'm hesitant, heavily, of a world where we are identified inside of a store by our fingerprints, our eye prints, our facial scans to be able to buy something, and or where we are locked out from being able to do so from it. This, once again, this is not exactly, I don't know, the true extent of what their identity experiment and allowing people to have more control over their stuff on the Coinbase platform. I feel like it's fine as is. You know, anything that is being known right now by governments or other institutions is stuff that's been known for the last 20, 30 years since we've had computers kind of mainstream-ish. Like, I don't know the full extent of this. Once again, it could just be me. I could just be hyper paranoid, but I don't like the idea of people having my information like that. Or I don't want to go into a shop and have to buy stuff and then look into a camera and then it scans my face and it's like, okay, you bought this on so and so and so. Not something that I want. I will definitely try and keep track of more of this. The EOS thing was for like the, what's it called? The universal basic income, and it was so that everyone could be incentivized to join the EOS network, and therefore this is how the people would be paid out, is that if you have your own digital ID, you would then be linked to this digital ID, and this is how you would be able to receive your universal basic income from it. But the question still then remains, how do you make sure that it's me? Like if you are dishing out universal basic income, I could download 50 different ID numbers and receive 50 different batches of money every single month from the EOS network. Like, what's stopping people from doing that? So that would have to then be linked to something biometrically. And I feel like people in the cryptocurrency space, a lot of the developers think that they're maybe doing something cool, but it is a hyper invasion of privacy. I don't know if these things are going to actually come to fruition or if they're going to be built or go mainstream and stuff like that. But we have a situation right now, at least in my opinion, not to spend too much time on this. We have a situation right now where a lot of young people are very okay with giving away their fingerprints and their facial scans and their so and so and so. I like to think I'm still young, and I am definitely on the other side of that argument. I do not want to give my, I already have an ID, I already have a passport. That should be enough to look at my face and see who I am. You shouldn't have to scan my face or my fingers to know what I'm buying. Anyway, that's enough of the paranoia. Let's move on from there. To finish all of this off in the quickest way possible, the Bitcoin subreddit known as r/Bitcoin has hit over 1 million subscribers. I think it said it was started in 2010. Yep, 2 years after the release of the Bitcoin white paper. And yeah, we hit the million subscriber mark. Kind of cool. Just shows exactly how popular the cryptocurrency space has become. It's actually kind of weird to think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies really aren't that old, and just how far that they've come and how, I guess, popular they are. And also, I mean, if they hit 1 million, I mean, I wonder how big this is going to get as time ends up going on. Eventually, it is predicted, rather, people think now that we have anywhere from, I've seen numbers range from 30 to 50 million to 50 to 100 million people around the world who are into cryptocurrencies in some type of way. This could be as simple as someone gifted you 0.00001 of a Bitcoin, something along those lines. No one knows the exact number, obviously, but we have a lot of estimates that within the next 10 years, we're going to have over 1 billion people into cryptocurrency. So it is kind of interesting, special, weird, crazy, fascinating. I don't know exactly what to say it. Anyway, I think that's definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I think that's just about it. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.